ahead. Let's swap out the map. And let me roll and see who's going to be monster next. Avery. Avery. Okay, so it looks like Dead is the next monster, which means Silver, you are going to be on support this time. And I think after this, we got some more people in the chat, so we'll probably... we might do one more arena match after this, because that hasn't even been an hour yet. And then we'll see if we get some fresh blood in here. She did nothing wrong. She only tracked you. I think it's funny because I think Daisy's a terrible tracker. She's very easy to abuse AI-wise. That being said, though, her ability to res in combat, it's so easy for a monster to kind of forget about Daisy because she's not doing damage to you. So in the back of your mind, she's not a high priority. But dang, does she get those combat reses in sometimes. Hey, Kappa. Sour, please. But yes, Mammoth Bird's OP. Ugh, this parade is so boring to watch. I think it's funny, my son keeps coming in because he keeps getting bored. I don't know. I'm a bit jaded. I think I had a fantastic childhood growing up. I was in California. We would have parades. Like, I've been in parades where they had, like, the military tanks and fighter jets escort, like, in the Washington, D.C. area. And, like, really, really nice ones. And these are just kind of, they feel so watered down. And I think people are just content with mediocrity. Oh, I know that Dead really fancies this skin on his Kraken. I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like it's a little too... outlandish, I guess is the right word. But we got a Slim, Bucket, Maggie, and Lennox against Kraken. Now, normally Bucket, Lennox, and even Slim to an extent aren't super good against a Kraken, but we will see how the combat terrain is affected. So because they have a Bucket and not a Hank or a Sunny, going after Slim, especially as a Kraken, should be your #1 priority. Basically, you want to use one of your auto attacks against Lennox whenever you can, just because the Vortex doesn't really blow her away. Banshee Mines are also really, really strong against Lennox because she takes explosive damage because Plasma Lance very, 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 very rarely, if ever, hits a Banshee Mine before it hits her in the face. So going after Slim should be your #1 priority because Bucket doesn't have enough deterrence, and so Thorax on the Trapper is going to have to do a really, really good job positioning those to go ahead and protect Slim. So we'll go ahead and see because right now the game is going to probably be decided by Illusional and Thorax here. So Thorax already at half health, being grouped up together, being very, very, very careful about that. You definitely want to be separated out. And it does look like that there are a couple of Spore Gun shots out, but the Trapper at half health needs to be very, very, very careful. I'd like to see the bug get thrown on the Trapper, and the Trapper is scooting back. It does look like the Thorax is actually using the machine gun more. I'd love to see the turrets. Even though Kraken flies, absolutely be using her harpoon turrets. Maggie is a very, very misunderstood character. I feel like that her harpoon turrets don't get anywhere near as much love as people should. Here comes the Banshee Mine. Delusional almost dead. Going down. Silver almost going down. We'd love to see a couple more hits or turrets set up here. Lennox is trying to go, and it looks like, oh wow, all three of them down. And it looks like it's just down to the Trapper here. Trapper does have a bug on her, but I don't think that's going to do anything. Medic is down. Trapper is getting up the support, so the support will be able to cloak and hopefully get up the assault. And there goes the Aftershock. Hits Thorax. And again, I feel like this definitely could be doing a lot better using the harpoon turrets. So here we go. The assault's going to get picked up in just a moment here. Oh, gets hit by a Banshee Mine in the last second. And that does look like that's going to be game. Well played by Dead. I definitely would have loved to have seen a lot more harpoon turrets. You know, damage, especially against a Kraken, I cannot reiterate this enough. Damage is not as important as survival. Survival is a million times more important because you cannot burst down a Kraken. Kraken punishes aggressive and out-of-position hunters very, very easily and much better than any other monster that's been out released right now. So absolutely focus on staying alive and just doing a little bit of damage here and there. Eventually you'll win. But once strikes start happening and people go down, it's very easy for a Kraken to take position and basically cause a domino effect with all the rest of the hunters following suit shortly thereafter. And yes, I cannot wait for the next monster as well, Slob. It looks amazing. So here we go. Monster going straight after Slim. Does hit with that aftershock. I feel like that aftershock shouldn't have hit. It should have been out of range. And again, big no-no. Be careful about shooting all 3 of your Banshee Mines. Fantastic work. Doing much, much better with the Harpoon turrets now. And there we go. Support cloaking the medic and getting out of there. Barely out of cloak range now, so Slim is being revealed. Doing a good job of trying to survive as long as possible. Another aftershock will be coming up in just a second. Oh, it looks like it is going to go down, though. Yeah, and that's going to cause him to go down. I do like that Harpoon turrets are being laid around. I'd like to see a little bit more. I only see one here and there. So it does look like that the monster is trying to focus the medic as much as possible. This is the time where, with Kraken being that low to the ground, pulling out the melee and going and punishing the monster is probably the better move. Normally, I'm a big fan of the AA or air assault cannon, air cannon, whatever. The cannon, but in that position, when you know that the monster is body camping, swap out to your melee weapon and really make her pay. I don't know why I called Kraken her, but really make Kraken pay for body camping. Here's some more assault damage to the face. Daisy trying to pick up Bucket over there. Might actually be able to get it off, but it looks like the Banshee Mine will end up taking her down. It does look like that the Bucket is down, and it looks like the rest of the team. Really well played. Very, very aggressive by Dead, but very low on health. If they just were able to focus a bit more on defense, I think it would have been a lot more better. GG. Okay, really, really good job on Kraken. Kraken was very, very aggressive, going after the right target. You know, without a Sunny or a Hank to be able to defend Slim, Slim had to rely on Maggie, and you could really kind of tell the difference between the two games. The first game, it seemed like Maggie was on her machine pistol a lot more, and even though Kraken flies, the turrets still make an amazing big difference, especially once you know the monster's going into aftershock. And then so like Slim was able to go down really, really fast in the first game, and there wasn't a lot of pressure. But in the second game, you were putting down turrets. I would have liked to see a little bit more turret play, and then trying to use the invisibility from the support to get Slim out of dodge, but you notice that it really slows down the monster, even if you just put down the turrets here and there. And again, against Kraken, always remember it's not an all-in damage race, because Kraken will usually win 9 times out of 10, just because it really punishes aggressive hunters and hunters that are out of position. So just be careful about that. Also, if you know that the monster is body camping, I would probably swap from the assault cannon over to the melee. Because it does have a 10-meter range. It's a lot bigger than most people give credit for. And if the Kraken's just sitting there bombarding a target, you should easily be able to get that ×8, and then either force the monster to pay attention to you and have Slim survive a little bit longer in order to try and get a stealth res or something else up. That could have been instrumental. But really close game on the Senko one. But that first one, I definitely feel like that the lack of Maggie turrets really, really hurt, because there wasn't anywhere for Slim to go to run away with. So just be careful about that. Well played, though. Let's go ahead and let's do one more. Let's swap out. We'll get that way everyone in here gets a chance at the monster. We'll keep it at Aviary for now.